So hello and welcome to the next video. In this video we're going to work on data preparation, and what I mean by that is, first of all, if we want to test our model, and the model was, let's see, the impact of fear and anger on behavioral inhibition, behavioral activation, then we have to prepare some variables. The main variables, the independent variable, manipulation, and the dependent variable we have to prepare. And we have also to take care of the control variables, because you have some control variables in your data. In our event, this is the gender and year of birth. Now I'm going to work with the SPSS only, for the reason that, first of all, the simple calculations you can do easily in Excel, but the analysis in Excel is really a painful process. Maybe I can show it to you if you write in the comment section that you would like to see how to do it in Excel, but you can find a lot of tutorials on YouTube how to make ANOVA analysis in Excel. And again, not all tests will work, because if you have control variables, then it becomes a bit trickier. Still possible, but trickier. Okay, so with these variables, what do we have here? First of all, we have the variable manipulation, and I want you to look at this sign here, this A letter. I don't remember what it means, but it means for some of the analysis, technically, you will not be able to use these variables because they are string variables. And SPSS is statistics programmed and prefers to work with the numbers. That's why we need to recode it. And the way we do it is, first of all, manipulation. We transform the variable manipulation. We call this variable, let's call it manipulation recoded. And it will be a 0 if we are in a control group. But how can we make a 0? We go to the if statement, and we get this nice window. We go to include cases, manipulation, and if manipulation is equal to control group. Control group. The spelling should be correct. If you write capital letters, not capital letters, it will not work. So manipulation is control group. This is our variable. If it is control group, the new variable will be coded as 0, and we click on OK. You see the new variable appear, and it is 0 if we have here control group. Now we repeat the same procedure, and we say now 1 for if manipulation equals to anger. 1 is anger. Okay, it will ask me what I would like to change the variable. I say yes, and it will change the variable and add new numbers here. You see we have now zeros and ones. And finally, we have to compute the variable. By the way, this window here is a repetition of the last command. So if you haven't used recoding command, you have to go to data, calculate, or recode, or something else. We made a 2 if the manipulation variable equals to here. Continue and OK. And change existing variable. And now we have it here. Now we go to variable view, and before we forgot it, we write the values. And 0 is a control group. 1 is anger. And 2 is fear. Okay. So now we have this variable. Sorry. Cancel. By the data view, I would like to remember that last time I showed you what to do with the missing values, and here we have the missing value. I just added it manually, so it was not part of the data, that's why I'm just deleting it. I just showed it, introduced it for demonstration purposes, so we don't need this file. You will not have something like this. I just added it to my data set with some mistakes to show you how to work with them. So we have the variable manipulation recorded. Now we need to do the same with the gender. And we do it in the following way, actually the same, compute variable. We'll call it gender recoded. And it will be equal to 0 if, and now we take the variable gender equals to female. Okay, so you see variable is calculated. Oh, why is it 1? I think I made a mistake. Should be if it is female. Did I make a mistake? It is for the control group, so I think I made a mistake. Let's repeat the command. Let's see what I did. should be equal to 1 if it is female. I wanted to make it, okay, I usually code females as 0, males as 1. I just learn it like this, but I just clear this the variable and recode it one more time. Made a mistake. So should be 0 if gender equals to female. Okay. And now we can do the same for male. 1 if gender equals to male. Okay, change existing variable, and again we add labels. There is also a different way to recode the variable. I'll show it to you in a second. So 0 is female, and 1 is male. Now, the other way to code these variables is to dummy code them. A dummy variable is the variable with 1 or 0. For instance, manipulation can be control group, can be anger, can be fear. In this event, I'll have to code the variables differently. You need dummy variables if you want to run regression. This will be the best way to do it. If we're going to do it all of a sudden, I don't know whether we'll come to it, but let's code also the variables a bit differently. So the first variable will be called control group. It will be dummy. So if you want, you can call it dummy. And dummies are always a 0 or a 1. So if it is a control group, it should be 1. If it is not control group, it should be 0. That's why we take the variable manipulation equals to control group. Okay. We code now the next variable, and I show you one more trick when coding. The next one would be anger dummy. Anger dummy equals to 1 if manipulation equals to anger. Continue, and OK. And we repeat it, compute variable, we make fear dummy equals to 1 if manipulation equals to fear. Here, okay, continue, and okay. So if I'm correct, we have now the variables. You see, they're always 1 because a person has seen either control group treatment or anger treatment or fear treatment. That's why we never have a kind of two numbers set in one row. And we can do the same now with the 0. So if it is not equal control group, make it 0, but we can make it also a bit simpler. Transform, recode into the same variable. So we will not create new variables, we take the existing ones. These are our dummies. Control, anger, fear. And the old values and new values, the dialog box will show us the following. So if the value is system or user missing, code a 0. All other values remain as they are, so we don't need to add anything. So what it will do, it will take the variable, and if there is a missing value, this is this dot here, this here and here and here, it will substitute them with a 0. Click on OK, and now we have all the dummy coded variables. So now we can know whether somebody had fear condition or a different condition. It can be anger or control group, so this is what the dummy variable says. And we need it for regression. If you want to find out whether fear is causing something, you use this dummy variable, but we'll come to it later. The same you can do for gender, making male equals to 1 if it is male, to 0 if it is female, and female equals to 1 if it is female, and to 0 if it is male. So you will have like two variables out of it. And finally, we have another issue with a variable, the variable age. It's a very bad idea to ask people about their age. People don't like to tell it. That's why we usually ask about the year of birth. Avoid ordinal variables like you are between 15 and 25 and so on. If you have a chance to get more data, and more data means a ratio or scalable variable, ask the scalable variable. But if you ask about age, people feel uncomfortable. The solution is to ask about the year of birth. Now we need to find out what is the age. And it is pretty simple. We just go to repeat last operation compute. We make the variable age, and it equals to, actually very simple, 2025 minus year of birth. The only thing, look at here, we still do it only for manipulation here. So we need to include all cases back and make the calculation. And what we have now, hopefully we have now the variable age. And we do have it. So you see how old people were. Remember in the last video I showed you how to make data substitution, and if there is, let's say, the year has been skipped, you can substitute, and you have seen that the mean age or mean year of birth would be 1990s, 1. Makes not so much sense. That's why it's better to call the age variable and then make the substitution here, because there will be really the mean of the age will be introduced here. So for now we are done. We have to do some additional things, but we'll come to them later. For now, the data is prepared, and theoretically we can start with the descriptive statistics and some other statistics. We'll do it in the next video. See you soon.